Hello everyone, and this is FM Republic. This is Tamari here, and this clearly is Football Manager 2017. Not clearly for those who haven't, pre-ordered it, just because they're cheapskates or whatever. If you have to wait till November the 4th and you haven't actually seen this yet, which most of you probably have if you do watch videos similar to this one currently, this is basically what it looks like. Never done videos like this before. Whether that was because of a lack of confidence or maybe because I've only just recently worked out how a microphone works and how to record my PC screen. So when you do start, this is what you start with. Sorry, I am a red. Other favourite teams, Milton Keynes Dons. And this is what we're going to do the save with. Just because we just have to. Place of birth, not really going to tell everyone exactly where I am. So we'll just say Billericay. There we go. I've had a few issues with the beta at the moment. It's literally just certain things just don't show up. So for example, if you do pick your experience as an international footballer, I don't have any caps, which is a problem. I'm actually nowhere near the age of 30. I was not born in the 80s whatsoever, or any time before that. But I will put a lower age to make myself 31 or 32, and the reason why I would do that is because I need to make sure that players sort of have a little bit more respect. Because if you are 35 years old or 33 years old and you've had how much experience in the game, then you're not exactly going to be listening to a 27-year-old. One of the things I have a slight issue with is the fact that I'm black in the skin tone. So you just either end up really light, or you just end up really orange, which is not very good. But fair enough, this is me, and this is the closest I can probably get to me, so I'm cool with that. I'm fine with that. Let's just find MK Dons. I've picked quite a few leagues, and we are all the way in League 1. That's what it would be if I was French, but I'm not French. Anyway, professional football at national level, I'm going to put a pro license. I'm also going to put professional footballer at a regional level, because I don't want to garner too much respect purely because of reputation. Seems like a fair bit of cheating, really. That's what it really seems like. But yeah. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm really sorry. I'm quite nervous. So yeah, I'm going to start playing. Here I am. That's me rolling around. Welcome to MK Don. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to make a board request before I speak to them, so it can just be done as early as possible. And the first request that I'm going to make is that we get a senior affiliate, enable us to sign players on loan without the cost of their wages, and I would ensure that the squad is well balanced and not overly reliant on them, and do my best to ensure that they're well motivated and dedicated to the club in the period that they're with us. Okay, would have gotten my requests. That's brilliant. I'm happy about that. Absolutely ecstatic about that. So let's just do the meetings quickly, and then we can go ahead and see what we can work with. So this episode is literally just an introduction of the Milton Keynes Dons, if people don't really know much about them. Just having a look around to see what needs to be done, see what we need to sort out, and what we need to work with going forward. So if I firstly start off with what is expected of me this season, where will I find that? Competition performance, League 1. Reach the playoffs is the minimum expectations, which is fair. So I would have expected like an automatic promotion, not necessarily champions, but an automatic. I would have expected that, but fair enough. Attend the meeting. I've played Football Manager since Giuseppe Rossi and Jonathan Spector were teammates in the Manchester United reserves Always used to sell Darren Fletcher, and Hidetoshi Nakato used to be an absolute beast, and Freddie Adu, absolute football manager legend. I was never really a championship manager guy. I was more total club manager, and yeah, from then I found FM, and then I've never looked back or looked anywhere else ever since. Meet the journalists. Thanks for the introduction. I do not want. Oh, actually, hold on. No, I don't want a inter-squad friendly. Don't see the point. Summary, second opinions. Meet the backroom staff. No, thanks for your help. And now everything's come up here. So we got Ryan Colclough and Jack Hendry and George Williams from Fulham. George Williams, I believe, actually came through the youth system. Yes, he did. Two first team appearances. It's good that he's back. Broken hand for a day. Dean Bowditch for 2 months. 3 months for Reeves and 4 months for Chooks and Eke. Now, I've actually not been super up to date with their squad this season. I do know for a fact, I'm glad that Anthony Kay's gone and Matthew Upson's gone. Jordan Spence is gone, and I wish that he, as far as I'm concerned, is a free agent, so I can try and pick him up again. So this is literally all we've done since 2004. League 2 paint trophy. We've actually spent way too much time in League 2, and that was when we had Paul Ince as the manager and won the double. So good work rate, good first touch, goalkeeper depth, defence depth, passing, goalkeeper, defence, coaching staff, scouting staff, decisions, transfer budget, and wage budget. So these are the strengths of the squad. The weakness is that the overall depth of quality outside the first team. So if we're having some injuries, then we're going to struggle. Not many exciting youth prospects. Could do better than Joe Walsh amongst those to play as a central defender. Lack of quality depth in the position beyond Darren Potter in terms of those able to play as a defensive midfielder, which is okay because the MK Dons have a lot of attacking midfielders, so I might not need a defensive midfielder. I like to play a defensive midfielder. I like to give everybody the freedom to play in the 7th and the 8th zones of the pitch, to play in these attacking positions and have all the freedom they want. But in order to do that, you have to make sure that you're solid at the back. So I'm not necessarily too worried about that. Teamwork, which is what I need to be big on in terms of the way I want to play. I haven't really figured it out. I have to check the squad. But yeah, teamwork, it needs to be upped. So whether we work on that in training, match tactics and whatnot, then we can do that going forward. Aggression, low levels of aggression and commitment in the squad right now, and that could be terrible. If we go 1-0 down, 2-0 down, then basically the game's over. There's no fight. It's not the Manchester United of old, for example, where they could go 3-0 down, you still think that they've got a chance to win the game. So attackers to scout, midfielders to scout, defenders to scout. My corner takers and all that, I'll sort that out another time, and you'll see all those in episode 2. And these are just some players that our scout has looked at. Hopefully some of them are on free contracts. See, I don't like the way this has been set up. Remove this column, remove this column, remove this column. I don't need to know about this. I don't need to know about this. But I will insert the column of the club. I'll insert the column of their value, of course, because that's extremely important in terms of whether I want to make a bid or not. And what else is it that I need? There's something else. Is it nationality? Really not sure. General nationality. Oh, their age. That's definitely one that I would want to know. But yep, let's look and see if any of them are free agents. Alexander McQueen. If anybody knows about fashion, I'm referring to. Rest his soul. Jordan Spence and Marco Motta free agents. I'll have a look at them in a moment at my shortlist. But to be honest, before I even sit there and think about bringing them in, I need to actually have a look at what is going on with this squad. So, some advice. See, this is new. Ben Tilney has the potential to reach the ability of. Okay, fine. Thank you very much. Giorgio Razzuolo, I know, and Connor Furlong, brilliant players, up and coming. So let's look at this. This is what I like to do. I like to look at the reports. If I just check my staff quickly, and I just check Richie Barker, decent ability of judging players' ability and potential in this division. So I can more or less trust what he's going with. I'm not going to look at what's the best players. I like to look at their position. So I am very Jose Mourinho in the sense that 2 players in every position is a must. If there are any more lingering around, then they're most likely youngsters who are trying to get games. But I need to know which positions we need to strengthen in. But we need 2 in every position, minimum. So Lee Nichols, who I know is coming this summer. David Martin, there's 2 there. I'm absolutely fine with that. David Martin, I think he could be potentially a little bit injury prone. But Lee Nichols, he's 23, doesn't have a great deal of time to reach his potential, and he's not going to be shifting David Martin out of his number 1 spot at this moment in time. So he's probably going to stay that way, but I'm absolutely happy with that. Right back, George Williams. That's not George Williams who was from Fulham. This is George Williams who signed in the summer from Barrow. He was on loan there. Okay, fair enough. I thought we just signed him from non-league. So that's a bit random. So clearly he's going to be him and George Baldock. I'm happy with that. 1 left back. Because scrolling down, Ben Tilney is a left back, but looking at he's well suited to the conference. I'm not happy with that at the moment. So at the moment we've got 1 left back, and in my previous experience of FMs, especially when 2016 last year, Dean Lewington struggled in the Championship. I had to get rid of him. Had to. Oh, well, we've got the option to send him on a coaching course. So I'm absolutely ecstatic with that. I don't really want him to go, but I like to play wing backs, and with a pace of 7, I know he's a top player and he's got all the attributes to do what I want. I just need someone with a burst of energy as well. So maybe he could be a backup player. Or when he does play as a defensive fullback. Yes, so we need another left back. That's the first thing we've established. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 4 centre backs. 1 of them are on loan. In this league, I would imagine we don't have the greatest finances. So we'll get to the financial parts in a second, just to make sure that what I'm saying is correct. But the thing with MK Dons is that we've always relied on loan players. And obviously, normally in League 1 and League 2, the contracts are only 2 years, 1 year. And the astonishment is the fact that Dean Lewington has actually only played 1 season in the Championship. MK Dons should have been in the Championship a long time ago for a decent amount of seasons. So I could go with this loan, or I can try and go with someone permanently, so I don't have to scramble around next year and try and find someone to fill the gap. And then that also leaves space for someone to potentially be sold if need be. So a left back is a definite, possibly a centre back. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 central midfielders, which I'm happy with that. That's 2 in every position, but we could possibly get a loan or promote someone from the youth system, because 3 to 4 months plus the recovery time to be able to actually get back in the squad and actually play. And that's a while. Wingers, quite a few. Connor Furlong is a youngster. Whether he'll get games straight away, I'm not sure. I'll stick him in the under 23s for the moment, and we won't count him. So Daniel Powell, technical ability is just not there, but he has a lot of pace. And his finishing's okay. So if anything, I could potentially just move him as a striker. So see how he goes. That's just about Darren Potter's just popped up from nowhere. But yeah, Dean Bowditch, left winger. He's out for 2 months. See if we cope with that, because we're going to be having a lot of games. Colclough and Williams. So we do have 4. So that's 2 on the left, 2 on the right. I'm sure the way I want to play anyway, it doesn't really matter about the feet. Left foot on the right wing or right foot, on the left wing and whatnot. It doesn't really matter. So we've got 2 there. We've got 2 attacking midfielders. Rizzulo, I have a lot of faith in. Ben Reeves, 3 months, so we might need to bring in a lone player. And we've got Nicky Maynard and we have Kieran Agard. So there's a lot of things to work out. There is a lot of things to work out at the moment. For me personally, Nicky Maynard is a very smart player. Off the ball, decisions, determination, composure, anticipation. His first touch. His passing's a little off, but he has a decent amount of technique. So him or Kieran Agard could potentially go as an attacking midfielder to cover Ben Reeves, and Daniel Powell could possibly go up front, but we'll figure that out. A lot of potential here at the back. Oren Jackson as well, 17. He looks pretty good at the moment, if I'm honest. He'll definitely come in for a few games. Thomas Asante, good potential. Attacking right midfielder. Connor Furlong, attacking midfielder or a left winger, but Hugo Logan as well. That's one I wanna bring in. And Shimanga, Kabongo Shimanga, just came back from Iceland. Didn't manage to get a goal. Doesn't really look like it's going to have too much of a future here. Let me check the under-18s quickly. Pickworth, Kasumu. So there's a lot of potential here, and that's one of the things that that I've always liked about MK Don's promotion of youth. But it doesn't really look like we're going to have too many funds for from Dele Alli. So I don't know where that money's gone. I think that's why the summer in real life was so ridiculous. So just for a little bit of backstory, I'm absolutely fine doing MK Dons because Carl Robinson has recently left. Manager for 6 years, a longest serving manager. And he's had very poor results. But part of that was due to the fact that none of his actual back line, the people that came in like Paul Downing and George Williams and whatnot, were not his first choice. And that's down to the head of recruitment. Unfortunately, the head of recruitment is the son of the chairman. Conflict of interests. The chairman could possibly want to back Carl, but it's his son. It's a sticky situation, and families tend to stick together. This is why when it's a family business, you can never get any investment on Dragon's Den, because of situations like that. So I'm happy. This would have been a vacant spot. So if you do, when the full version comes out, and you choose MK Dons, unless they've filled the position, it should be a vacant position because Carl Robinson should be gone. So, what to do next? We've looked at the squad. We've looked at what we potentially need. We've already had a little look at the team reports. Let's go to the finances. This is so 2,106,781. Transfer budget 50,000. Wage budget 82, or nearly 83,000. We're currently spending 77. Not really much room to manoeuvre. Now, the fact that we're in League One, I think by the end of the season, we'd probably end up with a budget of 500,000. If I'm honest. If I look at the projections, well, I mean, they're saying we're going to be in a little bit of trouble, actually. Essentially, what it's saying is that you need to get out of this league. We have debts of 17 or 18.6 million was the original. It's now 17 million that's remaining. Each month we've got to pay 20 grand. Our finances are okay, but we need to get out of this league. We really do. This is literally just the rundown of the club. And obviously after relegation, we really need to make sure that we sort ourselves out and we get back up. I think we've been relegated with a better squad than we had when we were promoted. If we check the season preview, we are expected to be... Why is there an R next to that? Well, I'm not sure what that means, but I don't know why there's an R next to that. I thought it was relegated, but Anyway, we're predicted to finish third, so hopefully we do a hell of a lot better than that. Yeah, this is essentially what the challenge is. So the challenge for me is to get promoted, to get out of this league, make sure that we're on good financial footing, stay in the championship, and solidify yourself as a championship side. Then keep pushing on from there. This is the formation they have been playing. I think I'm actually going to be changing it up a little bit. And the next time, I think, we will go ahead and start, the next episode is the first game at Shrewsbury Town. I'm going to try and cancel this friendly because it's a bit too close to the league games, 5 days before, and I really don't like that. So Shrewsbury Town will probably be the first one. I'm going to do a live com for, some league games, but mainly the big games and many cup games, all cup games, and important league games. So probably like one each month in the game. But the next episode will be the start of the Shrewsbury Town game, when everything's been done, the transfers, the players and the squads together. I'll show you obviously the formation that I decide to choose, and obviously all the staff changes and anything else that anybody needs to know. So if I've made mistakes, this is my first video, I'm really sorry, but just let me know in the comment section if there's anything you need to know, there's anything you want to find out, there's any suggestions that you have in regards to what I need to do with this team, or how I need to go about it, or any player suggestions, or what I can just do to make my videos more, listenable. But yeah, MK Dons 2016 to 2017 season, FM17, the beta version, which I must say I do not normally play the beta version because of bugs. Never play the beta. I do not play the beta version and then continue it. But on this occasion, I've decided to, because I've had the game sitting there and I just can't wait any longer. So yes, guys, make sure you subscribe to FM Republic for all the League One lovers, and this should be a save that you should be able to follow. I'm getting tired of people just going on about Premier League teams and Premier League this. I think I'm finding it a little bit too easy, especially with the money that's coming in. So I want to build a club up, facilities and whatnot, and just try and make it the best it can be. And it's going to take a bit of work. So hopefully you guys stick with me. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed listening, and I'll see you on the next episode. Thank you very much. This is the FM Republic. See ya.